It's proven with empirical study after empirical study after empirical study that diverse perspectives and lived experiences and diverse people, when you get together, that's when creativity and magic happens. And then out of creativity and magic comes innovation. The reason you'd want to have an ID&E program is, as a small business, actually, there's a big advantage. Because as you grow, even if you grow by just a few people, you are going to know how best to leverage all the differences and what you need to be even more creative and innovative for your employees, and you don't have to fix what's already in place. So as you are a small company and you want to grow to a bigger company, you can build ID&E into your business as you go. So when you say maximize the benefits from each of the employees, what you're saying is, what's the business case rationale for why we do ID&E work? You really want to take from each of your employees, create an environment where they feel like they can be who they are, bring what they have to bring to the table, and leverage those to be more creative and innovative in how you do your work for your customers, for your community you're in, and actually the benefits circle back and benefit all your employees that actually work in the company as well. It is helping your bottom line, it's helping your ability to really connect to your customers, it is helping you attract talent in. ID&E should be integrated into every aspect of what you do as a business owner and leader. If you think about the small business scenario, it's the fact that you probably are in a position where you don't have an infrastructure of diversity and inclusion. You're not bringing in a bunch of consultants, all that kind of stuff. You haven't done that, right? You don't have the resources for it. You don't have the time for it. What our book does for you, it gives you daily practices that you can do, little things that you can do every day that cause ripples, that cause someone else to do something else every day that leads to systemic and cultural change, or just innovation. One of the pebbles you can drop in your organization as the leader is to make it clear to everyone that you want to speak up culture. So there are only 10 of us on this group. I don't want one of you ever not to say something because I'm sitting here, I'm the boss, or your boss is sitting here. All it takes is individuals in different meetings or engagements with clients or customers, or in one-on-one meetings with their employees, or in an all-hands meeting where you're talking to everyone, to drop a pebble that causes someone to think, that ripple. You won't miss things because people are afraid to say anything. You may have someone who adds to what you're doing from an innovative way, and you say, wow, I would have never thought of that. That's amazing. And unless you have a speak up culture, you sometimes miss those things. So you're sitting in a meeting and you have a woman in the meeting who has wonderful ideas, but you have strong personalities in the room, and she keeps getting cut off by the men, which research shows happens to women often in these meetings. If you have one person in that meeting that says, hey, Bob, hold on for a second. I think what she was saying, what Tamika was saying, is super valuable, and we'll get to your point, but I don't want to miss out on that. You are now going to benefit from Tamika's wisdom. Other people are going to see with the action that happened in that room, that was just a little pebble, and maybe in the next meeting the same thing happens and they do the same thing. And so what you're doing is you are slowly but surely creating a culture where you have respect and awareness for cutting women off, and that's only going to lead to innovation and creativity because now their complete thoughts get out. So the idea is you don't have to be firing on all cylinders in order for a daily practice to actually have an impact and cause someone else to drop a pebble, which causes someone else to drop a pebble, which keeps those ripples going throughout your organization. That's the simplistic beauty of what we've written. There's this perception, and it's a false perception, that doing inclusion, diversity, and equity work is something that only Black people and women can do, and I'm being a little facetious, right? Racial minorities or women. It's a fallacy that you can't have true allies and accomplices in this work. And in fact, that's how change happens, is when everyone comes together and plays their part and recognizes the diversity that each brings. One of the biggest fallacies that I've seen over time too is the notion that doing diversity work is somehow a zero-sum game. So what I mean by that is, if we start focusing in on people who have, multiple languages abilities and bring them to the company. Or we have a dedicated program for getting the number of women in senior level roles where they currently aren't. Or, we realize that we don't have many people of color, yet our customer base is made up of 30% people of color, right? So we need to reflect that. It's this notion that if we do these activities, somehow dominant culture will be excluded. So if we do a program specifically for women, somehow men aren't going to get promoted anymore or aren't going to get choice jobs. It's never happened. And that's been something that we constantly harp on. Look at what the reality is in the workplace. We are simply trying to create access and create a synergy of creativity and innovation that everyone benefits from. And the book helps because we lay out a real strong understanding of what it means to lead inclusively and how everyone can benefit. Our book also lays out examples of 5 different leaders who actually epitomize what each of the chapters talk about. And so you'll have real life examples of people who are able to show how they've used inclusion, diversity, and equity to grow their careers, to be successful for everyone around them. Everyone can drop a pebble. Everyone can have an impact. Everyone can see a ripple of that impact. I think what makes our book really good is it picks up where a lot of really good research has left off and people are still thinking, okay, but how does that apply to me? How can I actually benefit from this? How is this not going to hurt me? We show people across the life cycle of the employee all the different things you can do to have an impact so that you feel like you're just as much part of the solution as anyone. So it just takes daily, simple practices. And I think that's what the book does. It simplifies this in a very impactful way.